Welcome back to Sport on 7 tonight. So Chris Foy, head of the 2012 unit for Visit Britain, is an excited man ahead of the London Olympics. As he works closely with Seb Coe in bringing London 2012 to life, I caught up with him during the Arabian Travel Market to discuss what the Olympics can do for Britain, as well as what the UAE can take from it as well. I started by asking him if London was ready.
Very much ready to welcome the world to London and to the rest of the UK this summer. It's going to be, I think, one of the most spectacular summers to be in Britain.
I mean, obviously the Olympics bring so much to a destination, but what does it mean to London and Great Britain to be holding the Olympics this year?
Well, it's a massive honour to be hosting the Olympics. It's a chance for us to show what we offer to the world in the UK, both in terms of sporting facilities, in terms of the wider tourist destination. And we've got a great summer that kicks off. It's more than the Olympics, actually. We've got the Queen's Diamond Jubilee. That's 60 years of the Queen on the throne. So if you remember what you saw around the royal wedding last year, more of the same kicking off in June, and that will take us through the Olympics, through to the Paralympics. A real summer to be partying in London.
Obviously, it's all about leaving a legacy, London 2012 and, of course, the Olympics, which are happening all across the UK. What can the UAE learn from what the UK is doing this summertime as it progresses as a country and as a destination for tourists and for sporting tourists as well?
What we're certainly focusing on, and I think more and more destinations like the UAE are also focusing on, is attracting people to come beyond the event. It's not just about ticket sales to the Rugby Sevens or the Dubai World Cup. It's about using these events as a massive showcase, as an advertisement for the country, showing off the other attractions to the world's media while they're here, and developing your destination off the back of these events.
The UAE is now pretty much third in the world for sporting occasions. Obviously the Formula One and the tennis and the golf, so many golf events here. Behind London and Melbourne for sporting events, the UAE is now. How can it push on and maybe one day host an Olympics? Does it have the capacity to do that?
Well, certainly some of the key ingredients are there. You've got access from across the globe, from Asia, Europe, from Australia and Europe and the Americas into the region. That's key, and the facilities are certainly here. Whether it's going to be hosting Olympic Games, I mean, there's so many other cities competing, and it's a very competitive market these days. So they certainly have to put their best foot forward.
What are you looking forward to most about this summer's Olympic Games in Great Britain? Obviously, I think for me, just seeing the venues like Wimbledon and Horse Guards on TV and sporting occasions happening in some unusual areas like the archery at Lord's, it's going to be a fantastic watch for TV.
I think you've nailed it there. It's that combination of iconic locations and world-class sport happening in the same place. For me, it's going to be Mark Cavendish in the Surrey Hills winning the the road race for Great Britain and showing off a beautiful part of Great Britain at the same time.
Great stuff. Chris, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Let's start with football then, and a massive weekend in the Premiership. Man City have, as Alex Ferguson puts it, two hands on the trophy after their win at Newcastle. Arsenal and Tottenham also dropping points, meaning the race for the Champions League spots is still wide open. At the bottom, Bolton could come to regret throwing away a 2-goal lead against West Brom. QPR got a vital point against Stoke, and Villa are safe with that point they got against Spurs. Ricky Fowler won a playoff against DA Points and Rory McIlroy to win his first PGA Tour title at the Wells Fargo Championship. The strong finish from McIlroy sees him go back to the top of the world rankings, replacing Luke Donald once again this year. And in Spain, Francesco Molinari won his third European Tour title by taking the Spanish Open in Sevilla. The Italian began his final round 4 shots behind overnight leader Simon Dyson, who got off to a flying start with birdies on the first 2 holes, but the Englishman faded badly, finishing 15th as Molinari completed the tournament's best round of 65. MotoGP, and Katie Stoner again held off Jorge Lorenzo to win in Portugal and take the lead in the MotoGP standings. Defending champion Stoner led for the whole race pretty much, and despite Lorenzo closing to within a few bike lengths at the halfway point, the Australian was able to win his second successive race. It's tight at the top. Stoner just a point off Lorenzo. Danny Petroza a little back on 52. Boxing and the biggest fight of the year in Vegas happened over the weekend. Mayweather and Cotto. Mayweather got the better of Cotto to take the WBA light middleweight title on Saturday and maintain his undefeated record. The two fighters went toe-to-toe for several rounds before Mayweather took control and won by a unanimous decision, with two judges scoring 117 to 111 in his favour and one 118 to 110. That's it for Sport on 7 tonight. Next week, see how I get on as I tackle a 12-hour karting challenge. It's going to be interesting and a very long night. Have a great week. We'll see you next week on Sport on 7. Good night.